Hi guys, it's Aaron from Life Extra Large and I'm back with another video. Today we're talking about the S&P 500, which is an index fund from the US, and it consists of the 500 biggest and most traded companies. It includes the likes of Nike, Apple and Microsoft. It is genuinely an incredible index fund, and it's the one that's mostly put forward by finance gurus around the world as the best index fund to invest in for an average Joe, as it is pretty passive and it doesn't require any active management, because the companies that enter the top 500 and leave the top 500 always rotate. So you can be sure that in that index fund, it's always the best and biggest US companies that are being traded, of course. Since its inception in 1957, the S&P 500 has brought back returns of around 10.5% a year. That's the average return since it's ever started. Now, when you take that figure and you look at it versus what your bank will give you, so I think my bank gives me around 0.01%. It is literally day and night. I would take 10.5% all day of the week. Now, nobody's saying to go ahead and invest all your life savings in the S&P 500, but certainly a portion of your savings every single month should be put aside and put into the S&P 500. So let's just take a hypothetical situation. Let's assume you had $10,000 or £10,000 in the S&P 500. Over a span of, let's call it 10 years, you would have seen a 10.5% return on investment, which essentially equals well over 100% in 10 years. So that $10,000 or £10,000 after 10 years is now £20,000. It's a massive double up. It doesn't sound like a massive double up, but over the years, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years, it is incredible. Compound interest comes into play. And of course, you'll be able to retire on a lot of money, providing the S&P continues to perform, which at the moment, we're pretty sure it will be. America is the biggest player in the world. They've got the economic strength, they've got the political power, so we don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. Something interesting for you guys, in 2007, Warren Buffett, the investment guru, placed a bet that the S&P 500 will outperform actively managed hedge funds. Now, this obviously caused quite a stir, as hedge funds tend to think that they are right in picking the correct stocks, whereas the S&P 500 just consists of 500 companies. Sometimes it fluctuates, 502, 503, but generally it does consist of 500 companies. And this caused a stir, but people took him up on his bet, and lo and behold, 10 years later, what Warren Buffett said was absolutely true. The S&P 500 has outperformed hedge funds over a 10-year span. I will throw something up around here so you can check out that chart. Just a quick one, guys. I hope that you're enjoying the video. I have linked some material below. There's a mixture of books and courses just to help you to increase your savings a little, get a side hustle on the go, and also increase your knowledge. So make sure you check them out as well. For now, back to the video. So it's an amazing index fund, and you should definitely start to look into it and start to get familiar with some of the terminology and how the kind of stock market works. The massive advantage with the S&P 500 is you're not just putting all your eggs in the one basket. So for example, if you took $10,000 or £10,000 and put it into Nike, your whole success or failure depends upon that one company, whereas the S&P 500, like I said, it consists of around 500 of the biggest and largest publicly traded companies in the US. So you've got power players behind you, you know, the brands that are in your house, the brands that you wear, your friends wear, that you see out and about, they are more than likely all in the S&P 500. So the companies come and go, you know, when there's more powerful companies that are coming into play that are US based, they'll also enter the S&P 500. I'll talk about a bad investment that I made. I invested in Under Armour in, I think it might have been 2014 or 2013. All was going well. They had signed a deal with Steph Curry, the NBA basketball star, Anthony Joshua, of course, the boxer, and there was another person I can't quite remember, but Kevin Plank, the CEO, made a remark about Donald Trump running for president, and it totally tanked my stock. So whatever returns I had made over the years just totally went zilch, and I decided to get out before there was any more damage. So that philosophy versus the S&P 500, you're investing in the whole index fund, which, as I said, is 500 different companies. So that's something that I'm more comfortable with, and I know that the likelihood of making a good return and a stable return over a long period of time is a lot higher than just putting all my eggs in the one basket. Unless, of course, you're Warren Buffett and you're the Oracle of Omaha and you're absolutely great at deciphering all the reports and feeding through all the bullshit and making good choices. That is not a lifestyle that I want. I don't want to be sat there reading reports all the time. So I'd rather put my money in the S&P 500 and just let it grow over the years consistently and sustainably. Now, the question is, how can you start investing in the S&P 500? So I would recommend either Vanguard or Marcus by Goldman Sachs. These are the two kind of reputable brokerage platforms online, and they're easy to navigate as well. And you can get set up in less than 24 hours and start investing some money. Again, this is not investment advice at all, but only risk what you can afford to lose, and also make sure to continuously add to it every single month so that compound effect plays out over 20-30 years. So I wouldn't shift your entire life savings there, but I would certainly keep adding to it every single month and make sure the pot gets bigger, because at the end of the day, even if it doesn't bring you 10.5% a year over 30 years, it might bring you 5%, it might bring you 6%. As long as it brings you more than what your bank would give you, it's absolutely happy days. And also, don't forget, people think their money is totally safe in a bank. In the UK, you're covered up to around, I think it's 83 or 85,000 pounds. And after that, if you do lose your money, you are absolutely not covered. They can't recover that money. So there is an element of risk to everything, whether you're using traditional banking or whether you're investing in the S&P 500, but just make sure you weigh it up and you always keep your ear to the ground for the news on how the economy is doing, how different stocks are doing, how index funds are doing. And I'm totally sure you'll be okay. So that was just a very quick video. I just thought it would be beneficial for me to share some insight into the S&P 500. I know loads of people around me have some cash sat there and have some savings and they want to do something with it, but they're not quite sure what to do. So hopefully this was a nudge in the right direction. Guys, if you did like the content, make sure you like, share, and obviously subscribe down below. And I will catch you in the next one.